If you're feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or just stuck in the idea limbo, you're in the right place. Let's determine your research niche step by step through a practical and a meaningful approach. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Raj Research Room, your safe space for academic success without the stress. I'm Dr. Radhika Kamdar, and today we will dive into solving one of the biggest mysteries of PhD journey, as the Gen today likes to define the words niche. And stay till the end of this video and I will share my personal experiences and how I found my niche. Now, each letter of the word niche matches a phase of your step-by-step method. So let's start with N. Navigate your why, your motivation, your interest, and your long-term goals. Now, before you chase any research idea, stop and ask yourself, why did you choose this field in the first place? What excited you in your undergraduate or your master's journey? If you're in a STEM field, then was it a specific disease, a specific molecule, a theory in physics, or any sort of equation if you're in the maths field? If you're in social sciences or humanities, then was it a community issue or was it any specific policy gap? So I would suggest that write down at least 3 to 5 reasons about why you care about a field. These will be your internal drivers and they'll keep you going during those inevitable low moments when experiments fail or papers are rejected, irrespective of dry work or wet lab work. The second point is the I in the niche. Investigate the field. Explore the current research trends. Then explore the research terrain using Google Scholar, Scopus, Web of Science, or PubMed like databases. Set alert in these databases for your particular field or a specific topic of interest so that you stay updated of what is happening, what is going on around you in the field, what your peers, your competitors, or people in the field are doing for that particular topic. Another great way of understanding the research field is to review articles, literature review. Now, you don't need to read the whole article for every field or every topic because they're pretty long, but scan smartly. Look for recurring themes and emerging trends. Now, here's a tip. Every section in a review article will have some open-ended questions. They will have put them very clearly. So make a list of those and these will form a shape or will start defining your research questions, your aims and goals that will help you achieve your main research objective. So basically what you need to do is create a niche map, a one-page mind map kind of thing, which will show the major subfields, then the unanswered questions, and then the overlaps across the fields or across different topics. But remember one thing, looking for emerging trends is good, but don't jump on the bandwagon of a particular topic that everybody is already on. So unless you have a groundbreaking idea in the same field, you need to understand that you will have fierce competition and realistically you will have a very hard time showcasing your novelty for your particular topic of interest and your research, and this in turn will make it even more difficult for your papers to be accepted for publication. And let me remind you that almost all institutes worldwide will need at least 1 to 4 papers for you to graduate from your PhD. Another great way is to check out the grant databases. Once the grants are awarded to the applicant, they will publish the summaries and the objectives of these particular grants. So you will get an idea about what is the hottest thing in your field. The third is C in niche. That is, connect your passion with the gaps in the field that fit you. Match your curiosity with a real research problem. And this will be the motive of your research objective. This is the golden moment. So ask yourself the following questions. What is missing in the field? What problems do you want to solve? And is it feasible for a PhD? Because remember that PhD is 4 to 5 years. If something exceptionally happens, it might stretch for 7 years. So envision an objective that has to fit this timeline, specifically 4 to 5 years. So you need to ask whether you have or do you need to learn some specific skills. So let me give you a template here how you can address your C. Try fill in the blank here. For example, look at this one. There's a lack of gap in the field, your topic. I want to explore the objective through the research questions and define 1 to 3 research questions. If you're still unsure about how to do this, then drop in the comment box and I will respond with some tips for you. The next part in the niche is the H, or the hypothesis. It means validating your idea with feedback from mentors and conducting feasibility checks. Once you have your idea defined from the above 3 steps, hold your horses here. Don't just go all in. First, pitch your idea in one paragraph or maximum one page to your peers, your lab mates, colleagues, and your advisor. Now, here's a pro tip to do that. Prepare a 5-minute research pitch or a presentation and share it with a couple of reviewers for an honest feedback. Let me give you a template for how to pitch this very short presentation. Start with the intro in the first slide. Highlight the topic, the prime findings using literature review, and cite the articles. Then in slide 2, identify the research gaps. Specify the aims. Slide 3, state the research questions. 4, explain the methodology. And 5, speculate the outcomes and its applications. Check out my previous video on how to prepare slides for an interview, and I've given a detailed idea about how to prepare a PowerPoint presentation. Just follow the similar guidelines but in a concise manner. Once you have done this, don't be afraid of the feedback, because that's why you have prepared this presentation. Your idea needs to evolve. Based on the feedback, fine-tune your idea. Make sure it aligns with your department's expertise. Whether your mentor is well versed with the topic or whether they have the necessary collaborations to support your aims. Check out my video also on how to find the right mentor who will support your research objectives and your career goals. Also, check out the lab funding, whether you have everything that you need. Check the budget constraints of the lab. Talk to your mentor about it. And drop in the comment box if you would like a video on how to prepare budget for a research proposal. And I will make a separate video in detail about that. Next, check the feasibility of the time and the resources as well as the skill sets that you need. Now, whether you have them or whether you can avail skill set from other laboratories, whether you need to learn something if it is not available in the lab, or if it is not feasible for you to do that, or if it is too time consuming. In all these cases, you should be aware whether you can get help from your peers, other departments, other institutes. Discuss all these issues with your mentor and talk to them about your needs for your research goals. Also, talk to them about your future career goals, whether it's going to be in academia or industry, whether you're going to carry forward your project to postdoctoral fellowship, or whether you're going to take it to the industry, or whether you want to join a biotech industry, or whether you want to join policy forming agencies that would mainly be government bodies. So depending on what your future goals are, your research proposal will start based from there. Now, PhD is 4 to 5 years duration. So think of niche as the launch pad. It should be flexible enough to evolve as you advance in your PhD and the career thereafter. For example, when I joined my first lab, I had no clue about research. I just joined a lab to learn about lab culture, and then I started learning about different fields of research in general and topics that I would, that piqued my interest. And that's when I learned about DNA repair and many different pathways involved in these mechanisms. Ultimately, I found my passion with the NHEJ pathway, or the non-homologous enjoining pathway. And keeping this as my central theme, NHEJ pathway, I expanded its relevance in very different models like fly models, yeast, bacteria. I also worked on cancer biology, telomere rearrangements, VDJ recombination, etc. I also learned about the crosstalk among different pathways. So what I'm trying to say is that you have to understand that any topic is not very exclusive. Most fields and topics are interrelated, and hence your research will become multidisciplinary to some extent. So you have to be open to expand and evolve as you progress. So the final part in niche is the E, or establish your main objective. Now, once you've narrowed down your broader niche, it's time to shape your core research question. This is where everything comes together. A strong PhD question should be focused, it should be researchable, it should be meaningful, it should be slightly ambitious but not impossible. So try using this structure or the template. For example, how does your finding X affect a specific topic Y in parameters that would achieve the topic Z? Or say what role would X play in Y and then what would it tell you about Z? Or what is the role of X in Y and how can it inform an application Z? So these are some different forms. So let me tell you about my niche. Now my PhD guide and I had discussed my project long before starting it, actually at the time of interview if I'm being honest. But once I joined the lab, he proposed something that he had been working on for a while and then wanted me to take it forward given my previous research background. Of course, it was very exciting, and if it cracked, we were sure to get some groundbreaking results that would be worthy of nature or science or something. But to honestly think about timelines, because I was on a government scholarship then and it is stipulated for maximum 3 years, I had limited duration. So he taught me then that we need at least 2 to 3 small questions that would definitely get me papers, help me graduate from my PhD, and we should have one ambitious future project. And I'm very proud to say that my work got me 5 to 6 publications, one during my PhD and the rest came thereafter, which helped another 3 people, my juniors, help graduate. So remember that finding niche isn't just about impressing a committee. It's the first real act of research that you are going to undertake. It's powerful and yes, sometimes frustrating even, but it's the first time you actually take ownership of your academic voice. So remember, finding niche is about carving out a space where you thrive intellectually and emotionally. So tell me in the comments what's your niche idea or what's holding you back from finding one. Let's chat about it, let's discuss it, and I will help you find out your niche. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe it, and share it with a fellow researcher who might be struggling to find their niche. And stay tuned for the next video on Raj Research Room. Ciao.